The sky quickly darkens with dense storm clouds, seemingly out of nowhere. Thunder rumbles, lightning roils across the sky, and the air hums with static electricity. As vertigo overtakes you, you begin to see small objects lift from the ground. Then larger objects, then larger still. The ground rumbles beneath your feet, and the smell of ozone warns you of a pending strike, as all the hairs all over your body stand on end. Lightning bursts forth from the ground, and as the dust clears, a figure stands, staring back at you unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Colt?
Mac.
You've changed a little. What happened?
Okay, I know this is gonna sound really, really weird, but like, you're not gonna believe me, but I definitely went to the future, and a lot of shit's already happened, and it's real bad, Mac. It's real bad.
How long were you there?
I mean, like a couple of years, I think.
Years?
What is going on? Like, what is?
I don't know. There was an emergency, and now we're in a safe house. I don't know. I'm in here.
Is my
with you,
mom
Moses.
safe? Is my mom safe? What about my brother?
Your mom works for the Loop. I would assume she's safe.
Well, what about my brother? You guys just dragged us here. They're still over there. I
What
mean,
about
somewhere.
Mom? Does she know about our safe house in the backyard?
A fleet of vehicles has just left the Loop and headed towards the salvage yard. Your brother will be fine.
Okay, all right. I'm just gonna totally trust you, dudes.
Listen, your mother doesn't know a lot of things, and it's safer that way. I was hoping you wouldn't either, but here we are. The more you know, the more danger you put yourself in. There's a reason we didn't tell you everything. I'm sorry, but it was the safest answer. You're 16. What are you gonna do? Save the world? It wasn't safe.
I mean,
We like totally, these 16-year-olds snuck into your fancy little building, didn't we? They already know. They know. They have video.
Yeah, so the car roars to life. As soon as the doors, both doors are closed, there's not even time for you to pull a seatbelt on as the car sort of takes off, squealing down the rain-slick streets of Glenbrook.
You said you were here, but you weren't actually there. You said you were in another dimension. How do you get into another dimension, and how did you get back? And you said you met Mr. Trivedi over there? What the heck is he doing there? How long has it been for him? What did they do to get you back? And what the heck is that on your hand? It's so weird looking. Also, how long have you been able to drive a car? And when did you learn how to hotwire a car?
Maybe like two years ago. You kind of had to. I didn't exist out there, so I kind of had to just get by any way I could. You was there though. Otis was there. Lara was there. Jen, you were there too. And Mac, you had a couple of friends. Dana, Tanner.
Hey, Dana and
this-
Tanner.
Yeah, your friends. Y'all helped me out. Y'all helped me get to be able to come back. It took all this time. I would have been back sooner, I promise. I'm sorry that I wasn't, but like we couldn't find the right parts. We couldn't find Charlie. Then like the others, they found us, and then we had to go on the run again, and then there was a whole bunch of other robots that were chasing and hunting us, and I mean, it was not all y'all made it.
Oh.
I don't want to have to watch y'all die again. So we can do this early enough. We could save ourselves. We could save millions of people from the others.
Wait, are those the same others that we were warned about?
Yeah.
And you see him slow down and pull up to one of them, and then slowly pull in to one of the doors. You guys sure?
Yeah, you got this.
No one else wants to? Okay, it's me. Into
I feel like
first.
she's scared.
drives this thing the full 15 feet, getting up to a whole 20 miles an hour as you see her drive directly through this gate. And you would expect Colt to hit a wall. Instead, you no longer hear the sound of of car on tires, and you hear inside the bunker, as everyone looks up at zing, you all hear the sound of crunching metal outside of the bunker, and LaBelle stops. What the fuck? What the fuck was what? You see Dennis quickly run over, and she grabs cranks it back. The two pins pull inside, and she reaches down and throws the door up, and you see a billow of black smoke just sort of floods in here. Acrid, burning rubber wires, etc.
Safe house not safe. Safe house not safe. Safe house not safe.
Shut up!
And you see light coming from that room.
Oh, God.
And Dennis just sort of stands there and puts a hand on her head. You walk out, and through the haze of smoke and sparks and chemical smells, you see that there is a blue Ford Escort sitting inside the black Chrysler LeBaron.
Colt, is that really you? What the hell? Dude, you grew up?
I was gone
And-
for like.
He hugs you. And this time he hugs you hard. And he goes, oh my God, what the hell? What the hell happened? What happened to you? What happened to you? What? And then he like grabs your face like, what the hell happened to you? What, are you okay? Where's dude, what's what are all these scars? Like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened? Oh, buddy, what?
Well, just I need you to listen, okay?
Yeah.
I know your dad says he loves you and that he's sorry, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for your father.
I don't know where you went. Why did you have to leave in the first place? Where were you? Where did you go?
Here, but another dimension.
What?
In the future. I know it sounds far-fetched, but that's where your dad is. And last I saw, he was still alive. I don't know if he is now. It took a lot of sacrifice to get me here. And he kind of like looks over to Alara. Hey, we have a lot of work to do.
Mr. Trivedi, I'm going to explain this
My hand
in
hurts.
as simple words as I can. The other place, the other Glenbrook, is where your brother is from. They did something to him over there. I don't know if it worked or not. I don't think so. Either way, things went badly. And we found out. We found the connection, we found the liminal space, and we pulled him. It was a one-way trip, in hopes whatever they did could help us here to prevent what was happening to them. A short list was created, a list which contained your father's name, a voluntary basis, and a scout was sent, a forward observer, a one-way trip to the other Glenbrook. He was sent, and his entire mission was to report back. There is a reason why he left, and shortly thereafter, the adoption went through for Colt. Not a mere coincidence. He has been reporting. Whatever intel we have been able to use from him has been used to aid us in the creation of certain things to hopefully stop what happened to him. However, I understand that all of this is a lot to take in, especially for you. Everything we have done may now be for naught. As much as you blame me for your brother's recent gallivant, the incursions have begun. The hole you ripped in, time, space, etc., has let some things in behind you. Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back for episode 10. Fairly certain it's episode 10. So none of my shit's working post-Christmas time. Everything's broken. Gotta fix everything. But if you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is over on our Patreon. Link for that down below. Join us at the $5 tier. Get access to all of our after shows, exclusive behind-the-scenes looks at these players, their characters, their insights into the world, and the characters they're in. Join us at the $10 tier. You get behind-the-scenes access to our prep streams, a special new secret show that's coming out next year in 2023. And while you're down there joining us in the Patreon, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I do terrible things to my players, like throw cars down mine shaft. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Wait. What the fuck is without further ado? Who are you?
Sorry, that being said, is that what
Thank
I...
you.
That being
Fucking
said,
fuck, man.
let's jump in.
This is likely the last that being said for the year.
That's true. This is the last public that being said for the year.
Christmas really fucked you over, man.
It's been a time, man. It's been
This is Mike being body snatched. That's like one of those things where it's like,
is.
what would you say to show your friends you've been kidnapped? And it's just
As
turned into Faye.
aforementioned.
Yeah. Without further ado, so it turns out Illusions de Sosas, the episode title from last week, is actually me. I am an imposter. Ogus. You stand in a room. Alara is on the opposite side from you with Dennis. They are in tandem typing on these giant metal keyboards. You are standing somewhat a mix of aggression and dumbfoundedness as a box was just recently deposited at your feet containing what you were told is information from your father, as Mac, the now 14-year-old Colt, and Jen are whisked away to a secret room with Mr. LaBelle. Ogus, what are you doing with this box of paperwork at your feet?
I think initially he's just very shocked. You just see him staring at it. There's a mix of trepidation, shock, and a little bit of excitement, and also fear of just what could be in it. And then after a while, if no one else notices him, if no one else looks at him, he's going to just kneel down and just start like sifting through I'm assuming they're in like little manila folders, or how's it like arranged?
It is a stack of papers. They're all imagine like white printer paper, right? Single loose leaf printer paper. Not a dot matrix, just a stack of them. And as you begin to sort through them, much like you would type on a typewriter a letter, the top right corner always has the date. And as you begin to sort through them, they are in chronological order.
As I am going through them, he's probably going to be like grabbing random sheets to kind of just read through as he goes further and further back. But I think ultimately he decides and gets in the mindset to go to the first page that he could find in there, or at least the earliest he could find.
That would be they are reverse chronology, right?
Right.
It's like whatever comes off the sheet gets put in there. How they have these papers, you have no idea. You sort through the box and you pull out the very first aged yellowing paper. Roll me investigation.
Oh, okay. Opening my character sheet. All right.
I love you so much, KP.
Why? Why?
I love you so much.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
Do-do-do-do.
That's a 0 success.
Great. The first thing you notice is the date time group on the top right corner is the day your father left. It is a simple message. Most of them are. There's not like paragraphs of text here, right? It's not like he's writing a novel. It says the date. It says, I have checking in. I have arrived. Everything seems normal. How should I proceed? ? And you see, it's very strange. It's almost as if it looks like he's responding to himself, right? Because a few lines down, a few enter bars down, a response comes. Find, alter self, assimilate, find vantage point, monitor the situation, will send details, period.
He's going to put that page down. And I think literally at this point, if no one's going to stop him, he's going to be hyper-focused on this. He is going to, and I think what he's going to start doing is, the hope is to kind of, because, this is years and years of information, of correspondence. So I'm assuming not everything is going to be things that he's going to understand. It's not something that he's going to get. So, but what he's probably looking for are like key terms, like anything about him, anything about his mom, anything about Colt. Just kind of getting a better understanding of the timeline, and also just kind of what he's been up to over there. But I think the biggest thing he's probably going to try and seeing is, because before he left, Mr. Vale said your dad mentions you in quite a few of them, right? So I think he's just going to really start looking for those ones that mentions him and his family. I think this is a big focus.
Roll me comprehend.
Oh, come on, baby.
I feel like if you fail this roll, it's implying that you suddenly no longer know how to read.
just nope. Yep. I am illiterate, apparently.
You are illiterate.
No, he's an A student. He's not dumb.
But in many
otherwise.
shows, in many shows, we see in high school that kids might get through if they're on the football team.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. A lot of blunt head
hockey
trauma. You begin to go through these. You notice, I don't know what to call what you notice. The first thing you notice is that it is far quicker letters, right? The first 6 months are daily. The date changes only daily. After 6 months, it's every couple days to about a week. After the first year, it's every couple weeks to about a month. And then it is monthly to quarterly. Like the length of time between check-ins just starts to drastically grow, right? The second thing you notice is that about a month in, they go from very short and sweet like updates, right, to paragraphs. Nothing exceeding a page, but you do see that it is like a short bulleted update. Here's what I saw. Here's what this person, I found this person. Here's what this person's doing. Saw this, was strange. We'll follow up, right? But then you see a couple of like enter strikes and a paragraph. The paragraph never pertains to what seems to be his mission at hand, right? Your best guess is that given what you've been told about what his mission was, he might have been using this as a sort of pseudo journal to like keep some semblance of sanity. He did leave everything he knows behind to go to a place that is similar but distinctly different. So it goes from just like update, what should I do next? Update, response, to that, and also today's Otis's birthday. Haven't had a chance to think about that for a while. You know, I bought him a gift. I don't know what that means. There's no way he's ever going to get it. It's just going to collect dust. Things like that, right? Today's my 10-year anniversary. It's just like his thoughts that he's putting down here of things that he understands he's never going to see or have again. The local sports team won. Thought of my son. Wonder if he's still playing sports. Wonder if he got that car running. I hope this cult kid is doing okay, right? Like it's just his thoughts that he's putting down like a journal. And you can tell what was like him saying things and a response from what you assume to be the loop. There's never a response to those things. There's only a response to mission relevant data. But this continues despite the length of time increasing between letters, essentially. These sort of things continue, that he sort of has mental check-ins with himself to like make sure that he's not like losing it or slipping or like, you know, becoming numb to that kind of thing. And that continues not in every letter, but like you'll like pull out a couple that's just like all business, and you'll pull out one with like 2 or 3 paragraphs on it, and another couple go by, same kind of thing. No like time frame for when they are. It's like he saw something, it's a specific date, something happened around him that made him think of home, and then he just mind dumped into this whatever this note-taking machine was. But that's what you see. You are mentioned many times over the course of years. Your mother is mentioned many times over the course of years. A hope for cult to have been a success or worth it is mentioned several times over the course of years. Yeah, that's what you see going through this box. What is going through Otis's head?
I think it's just a lot of just a mix of stuff. And he's not it's like one of those that teenage frustrations and teenage emotional surges where there's bursts of joy that his dad, even after all these times, still thinks of him and his family. But then the frustration of, well, if you are thinking of us so much, why'd you leave? Why'd you go? Why'd you, you could have been here, watched me play those games, Dad. You could have been here, helped me with that car. You could have been here, all these emotions. But there's like he sees the love there, which he misses. You just see him just sit down in front of that box and kind of, after a while, I feel like it'll just be like mindless sifting, going back and rereading any of the ones that he found that his dad talks about his family, and just kind of is more, he stops caring about any of his more like pertinent information, not really looking to see like, oh, is there anything in here that actually might help us out? It's more of just him being a kid and then just trying to catch up about his dad for the years that he hasn't been here, and kind of just getting to know this man that all he has is a slight memory from way back when.
Yeah. You go through this stack and that feeling of want, right? That feeling of needing to know who this person was. You find what your father has written, whether you like internalize this or not, you realize that your father is working from the opposite spectrum of he only has a brief span of time where he got to know you. And so all he can do is make assumptions of who you would become. A lot of his things are hopes for the future, right? Whereas you're digging into the past to try to figure out, who this person was. He's looking to the future and to see who you will become. There's a lot of, I wonder if Otis is still into this. I hope he still likes sports. I wonder if he ever got this toy, right? It's these things that he never got to see play out. So it's like he's coming from it from an opposite perspective. And as you sort of sit there, I imagine just like sat on the floor, legs kind of splayed, the box piles of these letters, you eventually make your way through the majority of this thing. And you notice that there is a fresh letter on the top. It is dated today. It is dated November 2nd, 1985. It says in all caps, emergency. Loop was alerted. Colt has returned, ? Did you send him, ? What should I do? Locals have been involved. And there is no response. There's no return response. Whatever that letter was ejected and added to the top of the pile. That is the most current piece of information, which does sort of strike you as notable, since you do recall Colt saying that he was with your father for years.
I'm going to grab that letter. I'm going to ask you something, Mike. And
yes,
this is so it's going to piss you off so much. It's gonna absolutely.
Say it.
My pride, if you recall, is literally hockey stick go burr.
Yes.
I hate you.
Yes, it is.
With in parentheses stating, can hit anything with my stick to make it work or defy certain odds.
Yes.
I hate you.
So, with this pride, I'm such a dick. As I get up to, take this letter and hopefully do something with it. I would imagine in the other end, he has his hockey stick. He's probably been twiddling with it. And,
Sure.
As he's like, it's just a subconscious thing. It's like one of those things that those what are those called? Those devices people can play around with. Fidget spinner, not just fidget spinner, but like those little cubes that have multiple different things you can mess with or whatnot, something like that, whatever to make him, occupy his mind. And I can imagine him as he turns around, he knocks over some of these stacks that he has created. Can I use this opportunity to perhaps accidentally come across whatever very important information that you were trying to get for me with the previous two roles that you had me attempt?
Oh man. Well, shit. I love your attempt, and I hate saying no.
Okay.
I don't want you to waste your pride, because all I was trying to do with those roles is hurt you more. There's no plot relevant information in that pile that you need to have, or I wouldn't have had you.
All right, I'll hold on to this.
I just wanted to stab you in the chest a few more times. But I think we are sufficiently, bleeding ouches at this moment. So yes, save your pride. It only works once. So, oh man, what a good bullshit sell. I love that.
I love that you were like, sorry, Mike, you're gonna hate this. I hated that. I loved it so much, but I hated it. I wanted to smack the shit out of you.
10 out of 10. That being said, do you do anything with the letter?
Yes, I go.
Okay.
And I look around at this point. Who's in the room with me again?
It's basically just you. Dennis and Alara are off in their own world working on these computers.
Hacking.
Then it's you. You were told to sit here and watch the monitors. And Colt, Mac, Jen, and LaBelle are in the other adjacent room.
I'm going to leave the monitors. I'm going to...
You have one job.
I'm a kid. I'm going to approach LaBelle with this letter. And I'm like, I just go, what's this? Hey.
That's the most recent letter, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you walk into the separate room. You see, the first thing you see on your left-hand side, there is like an old school dentist chair, right? And you can see there's like a crash cart next to it with a bunch of like diodes. And Mac is sort of there, She was sort of motioned to go to that chair with no real instruction on how to set it up. But you see there's a bunch of like oh god, what's the word? Like sonar things. That's not the right word I'm looking for, but it's like spectrographs. That's the word I'm looking for. Like radio frequency things, modulations are around there. You see that directly across from that on your right when you walk in the door, is a standalone desk with a typewriter on it. You see that Jen is in another section of the room with different chairs, different diodes, and Colt is in a another section of the room, and LaBelle is sort of working with him. He's sort of with Colt. So you walk across the room, take in all this sci-fi bullshit, and you walk to LaBelle holding that letter.
Yeah.
He looks to you, turns and says, "It is a correspondence between your father and myself."
Right. But that's dated for today. That came in today. But Colt's been gone for years in this space. This sounds like he sent it, like he just met him.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
So
what are you not understanding?
Clearly something that KP's not understanding either, because the rest of the crew are just staring at me
Your-
going, get
Your brother, and he like motions to Colt, and there's definitely like a weird, like he looks at you, Colt, like a is this for real? Your brother left mere hours ago, right? And he looks back and forth between Colt and Mac. And then he arrived 3 years older. So when he left today, he arrived in the other Glenbrook today. And your father, who reports back to me, sent a report back to me today.
I get that. I'm not.
Don't.
Have you only just gotten this one letter in the 3 years that they've been there? Then I would imagine that you probably got a flurry of them in the 3 years' time afterwards. This is all the report that we've gotten.
Oh my. He grabs a stool and rolls it over towards you. Please sit. Today is the day that Colt
I'm feeling
arrived
very
in the
stupid
other
right now.
Glenbrook. You're fine. He looks to you and says, "Today is the day that Colt arrived in the other Glenbrook. He was there for 3 years, and then came back to today in our Glenbrook.
Yes.
I will be getting a flurry of letters over the course of the next 3 years.
No.
Time doesn't move faster in the other Glenbrook, Otis.
Oh.
Okay,
Huh?
hold on, wait a second." And he like grabs one of those like acrylic whiteboards, and he draws like those time graphs. This is okay.
Yes.
Here's where we are. We branched here. Here's where Colt went to the other Glenbrook.
Yes.
Colt then lived for 3 years, and then he went back in time to here. That's why he's 3 years older, and you're not.
Hey, Colt.
I'm
Sorry. Just you remember over the summer, after we were grounded, when we saw Back to the Future in theaters, and
Yeah.
and they go to specific dates when they're traveling. It's like that. He came back to the future, past, in a specific day.
Thank you. I haven't seen that movie. So he lived in the other Glenbrook for 3 years, and somehow came back to today. Does that make sense?
really dumb.
I feel like I broke Brandy. You just see Otis staring. But he left today, and he came back 3 years older.
Yes, because he lived there for 3 years, and then he went back in time.
Yeah, Marty McFly only stayed for like a day or two, but But Colt stayed for years because he couldn't come back because he didn't have a DeLorean.
I don't see the relevance of the vehicle, but
Okay. Never mind. My brain hurts. I'm going to walk out now. Let me ask you this one thing.
yes.
Colt came back, right? You guys said that there's no way people can come back, but Colt came back.
Correct.
He did it.
Yes.
Can we figure out a way then to get him back? Does he need to still be there?
He pulls up another chair and he sits down. Okay. I'm going to answer this question twice because I feel like it needs to be answered at least as many times. I thought it was impossible to make a round trip. Colt has disproved that, which has thus taken your father's return from the category of impossible to the category of improbable. We may be able to figure out a way once I figure out how Colt did it. However, Colt lived with and worked with your father for 3 years in the other Glenbrook. If I were to find a way to get him back here and were to pull him from the other Glenbrook to our Glenbrook, I would then create a time paradox, meaning that Colt did not spend that time with him, and thus Colt would never have come back in the first place, and thus I never would have had the technology. And you see where I'm going with this. Does that make sense at all? If I can devise a way to get your father back, I wouldn't be able to get him back until the 3 years had already passed and Colt had already left from that Glenbrook to ours.
But he's here. He's already left.
He hasn't
Wait.
left theirs yet. He's still there in their Glenbrook.
You're talking to a 16-year-old jock.
I
Just
know,
letting you know.
what I'm.
I just want that to be very clear.
I think Mr. LaBelle is just realizing that.
Yeah, he's doing his best. It's one of those things when when you have too many facts in your brain, it gets harder and harder to bring it down. You just forget not everyone is at a base level. So it becomes tough to bring it down.
In Ogis's mind, he's left already. Colt has returned. Therefore, his dad is no longer with Colt. That means we can bring back Dad. That is the 3-step logic that has happened in his brain.
Yeah, there's a moment where LaBelle just sees you go vacant, right? Like he sees all thoughts leave your brain, and he looks to Colt for a second. And you, Colt, you can tell that he's I don't know what to do here.
Just when I left your dad, I don't know if he can come back.
But you came back.
Because
means there's
you and the others made it happen that I could come back. We were being attacked by the others. I don't know what happened once they turned the switch on.
Okay. Sorry. I guess I'm being childish.
That's why he wanted me to give you this. And I go ahead and I'll take your hand and put the crumpled up picture back into it.
He finally looks at it and then unfolds it out. And what was it that it said on there again?
It just said Ogis and Dad 81 for a year. And it's like him and you at an outing, a baseball game or something.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm gonna go. I need to go watch the monitors. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. He turns around and kind of just walks out. Just looking at that picture for the first time. It just absentmindedly stares at the monitors. He doesn't even know what he's supposed to be looking for. So he just kind of stares, and then he kind of just half the time he looks at another sheet from the file, the folders that he got, just like etching those words into his brain about anytime his dad was showcasing non-technical stuff, just talking about him, his family, and kind of just trying to construct this person in his head of who he is. And now that he has a picture, like a physical, imagination of who he is, what he's been through, and just kind of, that's what he's doing. That's what he's going to be doing.
Okay. You walk by everyone again. The room kind of falls in silence as Jen kind of watches you leave. Mac, as you watch him leave, do you say anything to Otis? You heard the entire exchange. You're muted.
No, Mac doesn't really feel like, man, Mac has so many words, but this is not the time.
Okay.
Like we're in the middle of stuff. We apparently have an emergency we're trying to help out.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It is a big time you get going on here. Colt LaBelle stops like fussing with you. He's not like hooking you up to anything. But he stands up out of his chair, looks to you, just kind of shakes his head, and he says, "If you could, please, with me." And he walks over towards Mac, and very like, I don't know, like a cold, like the difference between like your family doctor and the hospital. Like he walks up and like just sort of pats the chair, as like a get in the chair, like very poor bedside manner. And he begins to like pull out this like weird tub of goo. He starts rubbing it on the diodes, just sticks one to your head, sticks one to the other side of your head. He goes to like put one on you, and then he hands it to you, and he just sort of motions to like right below your clavicle, right below the other side. And he is telling you where to put these like essentially EKG diodes, without him doing it himself. And he begins hooking you up to various machines. You see him like flick on very non-medical, right? Very non-medical machines. You see him like flick a switch on one of them. A wave spectrogram starts to move. The closest thing it reminds you of is it almost reminds you of Charlie's weird bunker thing, with all the different radios. And he begins to like plug these like the 8mm like headphone jacks into these things. And things switch on. There's like a bunch of like noises that happen. And he reaches into a long locked like military style metal cabinet, slides the drawer out, and you see him raise up this piece of what you had to guess would be like military grade bulletproof glass. It is in a 2-inch metal frame, like 2-inch wide and also 2-inch thick, green with like a bunch of like connectors to it, a couple like lights, red and green and amber lights. He pulls this thing out, lays it down, pulls out this like basically what looks like a tripod for this thing, sets that up, puts this window on it, and you see several of the connectors go from like these spectrograms to this thing. He looks to you and says, "Are you comfortable?"
Yes, sir.
No, not you, Colt. Mac, are you comfortable?
Oh.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. I will be honest with you. I do not understand fully how this works. Not this. Your part in this. I need you to focus. I need you to focus on, let's try your mother. There's a space between worlds. I need you to get there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can do that. I was warned not to. Is there anything I should or shouldn't be doing in particular when I get there?
There's like a very long pause. And you can tell that like he's chewing on several thoughts of what to tell you. There are things that you should watch out for. Unfortunately, our most successful subject was unable to tell us what those were. So the best I can tell you is be careful. If you feel like you're in danger or you feel like you are being led astray, pull yourself out. If you can.
Okay. I think I can do that.
Under normal circumstances, I would have a consent form fully legalized. However, I will still be upfront with you. If you are unable to, your consciousness could be trapped therein.
Yeah. I know.
Well, all right then. And he reaches over and clicks a toggle on the side of this window thing. And you see it like, and there's lights inside the frame of it that sort of project inward towards this and give it a weird, like, ethereal kind of glow to it. Mac, roll me your empathize, I believe.
Do I get any bonus die?
You tell me why you think you'd have one.
Because I've been there so many times. I seem to be a natural. I don't think I've ever failed at going into the world when I
Great.
rolled for it.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
Yeah. No.
Okay. You can spend a luck. You can burn your pride if it is applicable.
My pride is not applicable. I only have one luck. And I feel like if I'm going to use my luck, then I'm going to use it on getting out of a situation, not into one.
Great. You can also re-roll at the cost of another condition.
Oh.
If you so choose.
You know what? Actually, let's just keep giving her conditions. Why the heck not? I'm already scared and injured. Not being able to go into this would probably make me a little upset.
All right.
Do I re-roll and then take the thing?
You re-roll and then take the thing, yes.
Okay.
You can add your bonus as well.
No.
1, 2, 6. Roll a d6. It didn't calculate your bonus.
That's a butt.
Nope. Okay. Cool. So you are upset.
Yeah, so you
describe what this looks like.
Probably from the outside, you see Mac sit there, and she starts controlled breathing and breathing extremely evenly on a 5 count out, 5 count in. Very much looking like she's trying to get into a very deep meditative state. But even though she is, you can see her still kind of shaking. Just if you're paying attention, you can see her hands shaking a little bit. Every few breaths, one kind of shakes. And then after a few moments, you just see tears start to slide down her cheeks as she just opens her eyes, shaking her head.
I was afraid of that. Hold on. And he opens a filing cabinet. You see him rifle his fingers. He like walks his fingers along, and he stops. and pulls out a folder, a green style manila folder. Opens it up. He looks at you and says, Mackenzie Wellington, age, whatever, height, whatever, blood type, whatever. And he's like listing down like you're basically your medical chart, right? Are these all correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And he like writes something down on like a steno pad. Have you ever smoked?
Yeah.
Tobacco or other?
Tobacco.
Okay. Any history of drug use?
No, sir.
Any history of hallucinogens? Psilocybin, mushrooms, etc.?
No.
Okay. Great. Okay. I can induce a medical state which will bring you to this other place.
Well, you see, if I can't even get in, I'm a little afraid I'd be too um unable to get out.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
That is valid. Okay.
And tears are flowing a bit harder as this conversation
Yeah.
goes on. Mac's trying so hard to hold it together, but just like you can see like her eyes are puffy and red and tears are just going, and she's like, no, I think it's okay.
And you can tell there's like a an equal amount of struggle on the other side of like, this is like, he's not a teacher, he's not a guidance counselor, he's not a child adult. He's an adult who works with very adulty adults. And so he's not sure how to handle drugging a child. So as soon as you're like begin to well up, he's like, okay, let's pump the brakes here. You do whatever you need to do. Colt, I'm gonna work with Jennifer. And he just sort of puts you together and he leaves. Because there's too much happening with your emotions. Yeah, it's like telling a dad you had your period. He's like, I don't know what to do here. You're crying and it's wet. I have to leave. I have to leave. So he like puts his hands up and closes the file, puts it back, slides it closed, and he says, I'm going to work with Mrs. Tao. Excuse me. And he leaves and heads off to do something with Jennifer Tao. Mac and Colt, what are you doing as he leaves?
Mac, don't let him drug you. You're like remember how we told you you're like Jean Grey? And you're what's keeping the Phoenix at bay. So if he were to drug you just to get you into that state, to get you to the other place, who knows what else can be unleashed?
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea because I can't really get in there. So I definitely can't get out, right? Because it takes like the same kind of things.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna get stuck in there. I think you just gotta get there first. And maybe you'd be able to see your mom. She can
said
help
not-
you.
She said not to come back. She
I
said it
know.
was dangerous and I mean it is dangerous, right? There's so much out there and you know I don't know.
Mr. LaBelle shouldn't have put this much pressure on you. He's kind of a dick.
I mean, I kind of volunteered. And
He's the adult here. He should be knowing what's going on. He should be knowing how to get to this other place. Not to put it on you.
Man, Colt, where'd you get this smart?
From you. You and Otis and Alara back in the other Glenbrook. Guys were kind of like Star Wars rebel guys. It's pretty cool.
I guess. But that wasn't really us, though.
Maybe. But it also kind of was. Deep down, you was still Mac. You still liked to skateboard. You had really cool colors in your hair. But still said the same things, just circumstances were different.
Really had a lot of time there, huh?
Yeah. I didn't think I'd be able to get back, to be honest.
Why not?
We didn't know if any of this was gonna work.
Well, it did. That's something.
It did. And I think Colt's gonna take hold of Mac's hand for a second and just kind of give it a gentle squeeze. I know it's really scary right now, and a lot of things don't make no sense. But if there's anything that I learned in the past couple of years, it's just that we gotta do it. We didn't, they didn't, and the other Glenbrook, and it's real bad out there. But there's still time here. Can save you, Otis, Laura, your family. So many more people.
Yeah. So you really think I should go in?
I think we need you to go in. I can't get there.
Why not? You can get there.
Not like you can. It's like I said, you're like Jean Grey. You are the heart of what made our group so successful. You're also kind of the brains as to what made the group successful.
I should read more comic books.
Pretty cool. Didn't get to do a lot of reading though when I was in the other Glenbrook.
Don't worry, I didn't read any more while you were gone.
Great. I think.
I wipe my nose with my other sleeve. Sorry, I made a mess of everything.
It's not a mess, Mac. The mess was already made. They're just using us to clean it up.
Yeah. But I feel like I kind of started the mess when I let you go with Charlie because, I was supposed to be the smart one.
Mac, you still are the smart one. I was gonna go whether you let me or not. And I'm glad I went. I gotta learn a lot of things. And it's weird being able to see a future that could be, but also knowing we got the potential to stop it. We can change it. It don't gotta be like that. And you're kind of like a key to make that happen. I don't know why Mr. LaBelle needs you to go to the other side. I don't understand everything. But I know that you can do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna be right here with you, okay? And like Colt just gonna give her a little kiss on the cheek.
Adorable. Okay, cool. So, there were two triggers for me there. One, I was going to have you spend a luck point to give all of her conditions back. However, the smooch was the second one. If you smooched her, she recovers all of her triggers. So, all your
Yay.
conditions are wiped clean. Mac,
The power of smooch.
the power of a good speech, friendship, and smooches will clear up all of your injuries.
That's how it works in real life,
Oh
also.
no.
It
Basically how it
absolutely
works
works in real life.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
I love that mechanic in this game.
Yeah, just made that up. So add that to your Tales from the Game smooches and friendship. Clear up your conditions.
As a joke, I almost put, when you asked us for our wishes, I almost put, I would like to see more of the power of friendship. I should have said that shit.
Yeah, there it is. There you go. You got it. Wish granted. Mac, you hear this reaffirming speech. Your hand is touched by a now very cute boy and a different kind of cute, and you are smooched on the cheek. Would you like to re-roll to try to get into the in-between?
Yeah, absolutely. Completely red-faced. She will attempt again.
Can I before you roll that speech that I gave, can I roll lead
Yeah, you can. Yeah, fuck yeah.
to see if I can give her an extra 2 dice for
Yeah.
a pool?
Yeah.
I don't have any. I have 1 die in heart. 1. So this is
Come
a one
on.
shot.
There it is.
Oh my god!
The power of friendship.
Okay, so I will say, here's how this plays out. Colt, you have a pool of 2 d6s. You can give them out to whoever you want. It's essentially bardic inspiration. You can give them both to Mac right now. Mac can use them both right now. You can give 1 to Mac. You can save 1. Whatever combination you want. You have 2 in your pool to give out. What do you do, Colt? Who do you give them to?
They're both. Mac needs to make this happen, so they both
Okay.
got to go to Mac right now.
Okay. So you have a bonus for familiarity, Mac, and you have a +2 bonus from Colt. So you have a total of 3, bonus 3.
Oh my gosh. Come on, roll 20. There we go. 1 success.
Perfect. All you needed.
Ooh.
9 dice. You gotta love the dice pool kind of games. They are stressful. So Mac, describe what this looks like as you are red-faced and now fully able to concentrate.
Yeah, you would think that she would be less able to concentrate, but something about that speech, probably the fact that she knows that he's right. She does know this liminal space better than anyone and everyone else in this room. And she has gotten into it every time. But you know what? Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine because Colt's here. It's fine. And he believes in her. That's enough. So she takes those steadying breaths and closes her eyes. and she just focuses and becomes extremely still, like almost statue-like in the chair, eyes closed. The only movement is her chest moving as she breathes very, very rhythmically.
I'm here to ruin scenes, make people cry. You enter into this state of stillness. Your eyes close. There's a gentle rhythmic breathing, and dozens of lights. The different spectrograms start to make noise, and sine waves move across the screens. Enough noise happens for Colt to kind of stand up straight a little bit, and LaBelle to look back over his shoulder. He leans down to Jennifer and says, "Excuse me, just please stay here." And as he walks away, she's hooked up to a bunch of machines as well. And he walks back over across the room towards Mac. He looks at Colt. He says, "What happened?"
She went where you needed her to go. She's on the other side.
Great. Mackenzie, can you hear me? And he like snaps loudly, and you can hear this like snap, like do like echo in that space, and you can hear like a distant, far away. Mackenzie, can you hear me?
Try to answer. Yes.
Okay. A very meek and quiet yes escapes your essentially sleeping form, and he says, "Great." He begins to tune dials on this window that he has here. And you can see that it's on, well, Colt in the camera can see that it's on a caster with wheels, and he begins to like move it around as if like tuning a television. And he begins to like click some dials, twist some knobs, etc. He says, "I need you to feel around in that space. I need you to find the other Glenbrook. Colt, I need you to come in here." And he like motions you to get like closer towards where she is. "Explain to her the things that made the other Glenbrook different. Guide her to this place, if you can."
Yeah, and Colt will go ahead and start explaining some of the differences between the two Glenbrooks. In details that would make more sense to Mac.
Okay.
Maybe not necessarily to anybody else, but like here's the record shop, here's the alleyway, you know, things like that.
Okay. Colt, roll me a tinker. I'm gonna have you use your main skill here.
Negative.
Okay. You begin to explain these locations, explain the subtle differences between this Glenbrook and that Glenbrook in a way that Mac would understand, like Mac from like her perspective. Mac, I need you to roll me another empathy roll, no bonus, to see if you can piece together what Colt is describing to you.
Nope.
Outstanding.
Roll 20 is not with us today.
Not a fan of you guys today. You see LaBelle continues to he looks back between the two of you. He's again twisting knobs, twisting dials, moving this window around, moving it back. You see it like he tilts it up, tilts it down. He's trying to do something with this window. You're not sure what Colt, you can see this. You're not sure what he's trying to do. You can see that obviously it's connected to the machines that Mac is connected to. Perhaps it's some sort of viewing device. Excuse me. Perhaps it's some sort of viewing device. But for whatever reason, he is unable to tune this to the proper frequencies. God damn it. If I had my entire fucking... and you can see he's getting aggravated. And again, this isn't the suited LaBelle you're used to seeing. He has his sleeves rolled up, his tie is loose, his hair is out of its tight coif. he takes a few steps away and like grabs the arm of another of these old school style dentist kind of chairs, and you see him like lurch it towards in very like Will Smith and Men in Black style. It's like across the floor as he drags this thing closer to Mac. Colt, I need you to get in the chair. I think I can. I have an idea. I think I can connect the two of you in a way that I can make this work. If you don't mind, please. And he like aggressively motions towards the chair, like he's a little amped up.
Mhm. Yeah, no, Colt, without hesitation, Colt go ahead and
Okay.
sits down.
He with far less care as he had with Mac, he begins plopping different nodes to you, little diode all over your chest, your head, and he's plugging cables in. You can see him like open up a drawer. He's got like jumpers from one terminal to the other terminal. He's plugging a bunch of different things in. Mac, you feel like immense pressure, like the start of a migraine. As like you feel this weird like claustrophobic sense in your mind, like in that mind space, like the walls are sort of closing in on you, like Indiana Jones style, and you physically feel this pressure in your head, like someone squeezed you like a vice, and all at once that pressure sort of pops, like your ears on a plane, just releases, and there standing next to you is Colt. He is in this space with you. You see him the same way. Actually, you know what? This is your mind palace. Mac, how do you see Colt?
This is probably the exact same way that he looked just a moment ago. Max sees things very much as they are. She's an extremely realistic person despite being a dreamer. She regularly looks at the things around her and the people in her lives in detail. She pays attention to the little bits and bobs that make their faces or their bodies interesting. And don't take that as like a dirty thing. I mean, like shapes, friend shapes.
Hashtag friendships.
We were talking about children. There's too many people in here with dirty minds. Yeah. So yeah.
None of us had any weird thoughts until you started having to justify yourself.
I said she remembers bodies, and then I was like, wait, I gotta remember my audience. And this audience takes things way out of concept, out of context into left field. So I had to put that down as like that, not that way. But yeah, so she sees Colt as he is now.
Okay. No hard eyes anime filter.
No.
Great.
That is only Alara.
Great. Shots fired across the bow.
That's just how she sees the world all the time.
Yeah. like a tint around it, like
Vaseline.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden that pressure releases, like I said, like popping, like your ears popping on a plane. And Colt is standing with you. Colt, you're not unfamiliar with this place. You see that Mac is standing next to you. And as Colt enters in, the words he was describing to you start to take a more solid form. And you begin to see, for Colt, this is not unfamiliar. For Mac, this is the first time you've seen something like this. It looks almost like a projector. There's no visible projector, but you do see light as sort of coming like at a movie theater, right? Like that like weird tinted, and it's moving. And it begins to widen, almost like a screen coming into focus. And you're seeing images. You're seeing the images of the places that Colt described to you. How the record store looks different, right? How the school looks different. How there's like locks on the doors and security cameras and just how the general vibe of Glenbrook is wrong, is off. Back in Meat Space, we see LaBelle has unhooked Jennifer from all the devices she was in, has moved another chair over. This time he has taken the time to actually pull it on a dolly and bring it over, and he is hooking her up and plugging her into various machines. And again, Mac and now Colt, you feel this same pressure, the same headache, the same head in a vice, as you feel that pop, and Jennifer is standing next to you as well. She has apparently been hooked in to this machine. And you hear that like watery, distant voice. Mackenzie, Colt, Jennifer, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Mackenzie, can you see the other Glenbrook?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like a light almost.
The way I understand it is everyone projects images differently in their own. It's very complicated. Beside the point, I need you to focus on this location. Colt, I need you to guide her to the places you were today. For you, that would be 3 years ago, when you first arrived. I need to look at all of the places you were, and all the things you did after you encountered Ashok. I need to understand what happened there and how it's affecting here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Jennifer, I need you to act as... This is complicated. I need you to act as a sort of anchor for the two of them. You are anchored to our Glenbrook in a way that neither of them are, and I need you to act as that. I need you to be able to pull them back. Do you understand? Mac and Colt, you can see that she has absolutely no understanding of what the fuck that means. But she looks at the two of you, in as much as she understands everything else that's happened, and she says, yeah, that's fine. And back in Glenbrook, we see LaBelle twist the monitor, this window again, and flip a switch, pull a diode, and a crystal clear image of this fuzzy image that Mac and Colt and Jen are seeing appears. And he is essentially viewing the other Glenbrook as if through one of the other monitors in the other room. Speaking of other monitors in another room, we cut back to said other room. Alara, you are tickety-tapping away on those keys. Dennis is there with you. There's a notebook between the two of you. Every once in a while, she flips a page, flips it back to whatever page you were working on. She is clearly farther ahead than you are. The three of you hear a voice.
My best.
There's only so much you can do. You're new. It's your first day.
I just got here. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
The three of you hear a voice from the other room, LaBelle's, obviously, and he says, Dennis, the three of them are in. The feed is functional. I need you to activate everything. And there's like an exasperated activate everything. She sort of like nods and realizes that he can't see her, and he says, yeah, I'm on it. She flips several pages down, slides it towards you, looks to you and says, just Control C to cancel whatever you're doing, start here. And she points like halfway down the page, and you just see like code. It's just code is typed in there, or is written down in that. She says, okay, this is incredibly illegal. Just so you're aware, don't talk to anyone about this ever. This doesn't go on any sort of any diary, any sort of record of any kind. Clickety click 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 click. We are currently hacking into a series of government satellites located. Well, that's not important. Anyway, this is actually a typo. It's spelled this, and she like points over to one of the lines of code. that is clearly like a letter written over a letter, right? And she says, "Do you understand anything that's happening right now?"
Alara has been like trying very hard to like not show how exciting this specific detail of what they're doing is. Partially because like I'm cool, and partially because they're not friends right now.
Yeah, they're
but
friendlies,
also
sure.
but also this is so cool. So it's a struggle of expression. She's like, yeah, I do. And also I like the journal's in Dennis's handwriting, right? Yeah, she's like, I know how you correct things, and I know how to read your handwriting. So, yeah, I mean, I understand. I think 80% of what we're doing, and none of what they're talking about, or have like whatever I've heard of them say so far at all. Like, absolutely no idea what they're talking about at all. This though, yes.
Roll me a comprehend, Laura.
Yeah, let's see how much of this is absolute bullshit. Ah, that's so loud. Comprehend.
Great. So nothing of what you said was bullshit.
Tight.
However, what you begin to realize as you are flipping through these pages, going back and forth, and as Dennis is about to sort of explain to you in this exposition dump, you see the more you flip back and forth, you see the glaring similarities between this journal and your father's journal, and now the journal you've started, right? It's almost as if this journal, Dennis's journal, is the second half of a book. Like you always felt there was something missing from the one you had. This is what it was. You only had half of the puzzle. There was never going to be an opportunity for you to figure everything out because you were missing this key to the cipher, right? And now that you see that, a lot of like cogs click into place about like the things you didn't know, the things that were always a little weird, the secret glances, right? And Dennis looks to you and says, I'm sorry I gave you space. You were being an ass, and you're not my kid. I thought it was a phase. Don't chew your tongue at me. I had my own shit going on. I didn't have time to deal with yours as well. I stayed in Turkey. To meet up with a few old contacts. Your father and I worked for an organization called the Men of Letters. It began in Europe in the 1700s. There's bases here. And we work against things like this. I know that doesn't make sense. But everything, well, not the aliens, but everything else in his journal was true. It was framed in stories to make it easier for you to digest in the event that we had to bring you in. But I was hoping that would never happen. Unfortunately, and she sort of like nods to the situation. Desperate times. I'm sure you have questions.
I have so many questions. The Men of Letters are real. That is so cool. I am mad at you because I needed you. You weren't there. And I can maybe not be mad at you. But I need you to be there. Because he's not here. And Mom checked out. I don't know what what the heck is going on with her. But she's out. So it's just me.
Yeah. I'm monitoring that.
Oh my God, do the aliens have Mom?
There aren't
I
aliens.
think that if we're going by the definition of extraterrestrial, and technically another dimension is not terrestrial, then actually there are aliens.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue with you.
Finally.
Although technically extraterrestrial means outside of Earth, and they're just other versions of Earth, so it's not exactly. Regardless, the aliens don't. It's low. It's lower. It's lower on the totem pole. This is obviously a priority.
Well, yeah.
But
I mean,
it's being.
Okay. Somebody has an eye on it, I guess. Why would you guys work so hard to avoid me being in this? This is what you guys like. She's still typing as fast as her little thingies can. While she like glances like between like code, screen, face to check for lies. Code, screen, face. Why you raised me in this stuff, both of you. If it was already going to be a contingency plan, then I don't understand why it was something you guys wanted to keep from me. And honestly, I'm not that old. It didn't take that long. We live in a weird place too, so
Yeah, that wasn't my idea. We left. If there's such a thing as a retirement from that, we retired. So it wasn't a matter of bringing you in because you're some kind of legacy. It was a matter of in case something like this happened. We needed a contingency so that you would be at least tangentially aware of strange things, or at least open to the idea of strange things.
Well, you definitely made me open to the idea of strange things.
I was hoping that's where it would stay.
Mentally clocking away that like made me so like just thinking like made me so open I broke into the loop. Maybe overshot the goal a little bit, Dad. And it's just like well, I guess that explains the bunker in the shed. Yeah. Does Mom know anything?
Obviously not.
You mean obviously not? They were married. I don't know what married people tell each other.
You didn't know anything.
Yeah, I wasn't married. I was the kid. Adults talk to each other. They don't talk to kids.
There's no reason your mother has to know anything. For the same reason.
It's really weird that she does the sciencey stuff and she didn't know about this, but
she's a teacher.
There's no difference to a teenager between a scientist like science and like a high school science teacher.
She like motions to the science that's happening all around you. She's like, she's a teacher. It's regardless. The plan was always to keep you out of this.
Well, did you have a plan B after this? I'm not going to get my like memory wiped or something, right? Because I don't think that would be healthy.
No.
Developing brain.
I'm not going to wipe your memory.
Oh my god, but you could?
No.
Oh. Could he?
Science fiction movie.
He's like pointing towards like LaVale.
She like leans up and like looks over the computer. Maybe.
Oh my god.
But I couldn't.
We've seen that.
It's true.
We've seen
Oh
the Milo.
yeah.
Look, regardless, there was never a plan B because this was never a plan at all. This was plan Z. And it had you not hopped the fence, seriously, what were you thinking?
Thought they had my girlfriend. Was technically not wrong.
Yeah, well, that's how you got on their radar.
Well, they took my girlfriend. I don't really. What was I supposed to do? Leave her there in a tube?
I don't know the full story. Aiden
They
didn't
put like
bring me in until after the
seaweed down
carnival.
her or something. I don't call him Aiden. It's so weird.
That's his name.
That's so weird. Adults don't have first names.
He does. Mine is Dennis.
Yeah, but
You use
but
it.
that's different. Yeah, but that's different. That's different.
In what? Okay.
You're my aunt, and he's like an actual adult.
Wow.
Like a. Ew, are you? Oh no, I don't want to. I don't. You know what? Some questions
Ew,
don't need to
no,
be answered.
No, ew.
Oh God.
No,
Oh, anyway. Anyway, so you guys just had code to break into government, hack into government things for no reason, just for fun, just on a Saturday night.
Well, that's not important.
That's so cool.
I didn't.
I'm so upset.
LaBelle, it didn't bring me in until after the carnival.
Which also, by the way, what the fuck? He kidnapped us. And we're just gonna. Did he mean to kidnap us? Was that an accident? Did we just wander into being kidnapped?
Did he kidnap you, or did you walk into willingly because you were invited in?
We were set up, and just patting her little pockets before remembering that, like, A, she doesn't ever wear anything that has real pockets, and B, she has a purse. So she pulls out the coin and is like, I found this in Dad's book, and at the circus they said if you have that, then you should give it to them, and they would give you a prize. And then they took us to the room.
You gave that coin.
Yeah, and they gave.
Do I hear this conversation? Because I'm in the
to me.
same room, right?
Yeah, you are in the same room.
Yeah, you might have just been like politely pretending you can't hear everything.
As soon as you say that, no, we didn't go in there. I'm like,
no, because okay. Did I willingly go in there? Yes. Was I misled into being kidnapped? Okay.
I told you not to.
Snitch. And it lifts up the coin and is like, they said if you have this coin, you win a prize. I was curious. I found the coin in Dad's journal. I gave them the coin. I got it back. I don't know how. I don't remember. I had it back again later. Oh yeah, LaBelle gave it to me. Never mind. LaBelle gave me the coin back. You were in the car. You saw that. So the coin. I gave them the coin. They bring me to a door. The door smells really nice. We go where we are led. Okay, so yes. Actually, I think you'll find that per definition, I was lured under false pretenses to a secondary location. And it's gonna put the coin like on the like a between them, and just keep typing now that the gestures are over.
Well, I assure you that there was no secondary location. You were tested on site.
Ew.
The four of you, who all willingly entered into the test.
Miss test? What kind of test? I just hung out in a bedroom by myself. So nice.
Well, regardless, the four of you have certain, cult, obviously, but the four of you have certain alleles and markers in your DNA that it's very complicated. I expected you would have them. I have them. Your father has them. Cult obviously has his own thing going on. Once I was brought in on who Mackenzie was, I assumed she had them as well. The Trivedi boy was a bit of a shock. But and she reaches into her back pocket because she has functional pockets, and she slides a coin onto the table right next to yours. She says they are well, it's defunct now, but they once served a purpose. Now they're mostly just for show, for now at least. Regardless, I'm sorry you got brought in this way. I'm sorry you were brought in at all.
I don't mind. I mean, the way was weird and scary, and it feels like we almost died several times. And those robot dogs or balls or whatever, they're no joke. You know, and I would have preferred to go on a normal first date, like a normal person, and not end up having to try to break into a government facility at the end. But you know, I don't mind being in this. I like this. Grew up with this. I don't really think anything else makes sense. Is the DNA thing why at the football game we were the ones that noticed everybody got really weird?
What?
Because we went to the football game and you don't have any memory of it at all, but that's like the first like weird thing that happened. I mean, apart from you like embarrassing me in front of everybody, you were in the stands and we were in the stands, and you invited all of us to sit together with the popular kids, which, oh my God, went so swell. And then, but it didn't even matter because the next day you said you didn't even remember us going, and we were all there. And then all of a sudden there was that weird orb thing. Those orb things. You've seen the orb things by now. I don't know. I feel like you should have. And like the loop brought one, you know, the thing of, like it wasn't active. The donut, yeah, the donut thing, and then the dinner plate basketball, and and the you know, it wasn't active, and then Colt touched it and it was active. But that thing like kind of like made this buzzing weird noise a few minutes later, and we were all in the stands, and then suddenly all of you froze, and or like, well, you couldn't hear us at first. It was like we were invisible. You just kept, you know, existing, and then you kind of froze. All of you, like everybody in the whole planet felt like everybody froze. We like walked out of the like field, and then like we turned around and none of you had faces, and you were all faceless and weird, like shadowy weird, and it felt like we weren't really here anymore. And then all of a sudden everything was normal, and we were standing in the middle of the field, and we went home, and we went to sleep, and the next morning everybody said we weren't there and that we didn't go, and had no memory of the evening, even though I didn't touch the freaky dinner orb thing for ages, and neither did Mac, or I don't think Otis touched it, just Colt touched it. But is the DNA thing why we were all fine and you guys got weird? Although you have the DNA thing, so that would be weird.
Any sense of stoicism your aunt has had for this conversation is gone, and there's a genuine look of concern as she listens to you sort of ramble on. And she again like stands up straight and looks over the monitor bank. Aiden,
Ew.
you're gonna want to hear this.
I love telling a story. You know, Alara is so ready to tell the whole thing exactly the way she just did again.
He you see him dragging like essentially like an aid bag, like a IV drip, right? He's dragging this with a TV on it. And he's dragging it out to the doorway. And you can see that it looks like some strange, you know, 1080p version of Glenbrook. As he wheels it to the door, and then he turns and says, "What?" Some combination of you and Dennis recap this entire story again.
Same mannerisms, but like hers are slightly more professional, but I think she'd get sucked into my way of storytelling again out of habit.
The hands are going. He midway through the story right about the time where you talk about everyone freezing and being shadows, he leaves the monitor and begins walking rather quickly to the other side of the bank of computers. And you see him like hit a few buttons on all 4 of them, and then he's like type on one, type on the next one, type on the next one, goes back, and he is like typing on all 4 computers at the same time. You see him like hit a button on a panel of buttons on the side, and one of the screens changes. The one that is monitoring the school and the high school, middle school, changes and displays a local map. But like those kind of like 80s style like sonar maps where it's like the green outline of the United States, right? With a little boop. And you see at first a single ping in the junkyard, and then he like a few dozen more keystrokes. And you can see him getting more and more frazzled every time he like moves to a new machine to type things in.
Weird.
And then a boop, 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 boop. There are 19 smaller green blips on the screen. And he looks up to Dennis and says, "The newest tear is just the largest. It's not the first."
Did you not know that? I tried to
No.
tell you. I told you when it happened months ago. I came home and I went to bed and I woke up and I talked about the football game. And you looked at me like I was crazy.
He's been making surgical incisions for months now, I would guess. And you just see her
Ew.
make several shades whiter, like several shades more pale, rather. And that's that point, as we use our corruption bar.
Oh!
Ogis, you sit watching the monitors.
lives.
The high school, middle school one has shifted to being this sonar thing. You still see one is monitoring the junkyard, one is monitoring the old Stillwater Mill. And you see something strange. You see the Stillwater Mill gets like warbly and like staticky, like it's coming in and out, like you're losing signal almost. And then it goes all static for like 10 seconds, comes back, and you see 4 teenage boys, by maybe around your age, maybe a little bit younger, it's hard to tell, are standing outside. One of them is holding a lit Molotov cocktail, and the other 3 are talking to a TV that is sat on the seat part of a chair, except you're about 100% sure that the TV is cracked open in places and fleshy tendrils have wrapped itself around the TV and the chair. And then that TV cuts. And that's where we end this episode of
God damn it.
Unhallowed. Episode 10 in the
Whoa.
bag. 2 left in this season. Everybody.
Jesus.
Bum, bum, bum. All right. That
Wow.
was a hot little a big exposition episode with some hot little
Mhm.
insider tips there. I can't wait to talk about this in the after show. But before that, guys, if you like this show and you want to support us, Patreon link down below. You get access to this after shows, all the prep streams, all this other kinds of fun shit. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. But for now, we're going to get out of here. We're going to do our after show. But before that, we're going to go around and do all of our introductions so you can follow these lovely people on all of the socials and all of their future endeavors. We will start with Brandy. Brandy, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hi, everybody. I'm Brandy Rose. You can find me on Twitter @TheBrandyRose. You can find me on Twitch /CutestPatoot. You can find me on Instagram at Brandy Rose Official. I'm a producer. I'm an actor. I do many things. I make many things. And in between making and doing the things, I teach people how to make and do the things. Also host the Patu Podcast Network, which I'm very excited after a hiatus is going to be picking up recording for the next season soon. So just keep an eye on the Twitter. That's where I live. Has a pinned tweet for my GoFundMe, which we are still doing because now the final part of moving is coming and then I will be settled, safe, and good. So that's still there, still fundraising for it, and we are very close, relatively speaking, to the goal. So make sure to go check that out if you can, or share it if you can't. Check it out yourself. I don't know. It's 4 a.m. for me now, so that's all I have to say. But I love all of you very, very much. This is the best community, and I will see you guys next week.
Perfect. Next, we'll jump to Eris. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm so sleepy.
Hello, I'm Erisavad. I make things too. You can find the things that I make at erisavad.com. I make things like this cool ass hat. There's a new mushroom one. Today I'm actually gonna say go join my Patreon. I am doing more things on Patreon, especially going into the next year, and patrons get a not only a first look but an actual say in what fabrics I'm going to be getting next year for pre-orders. So if you want to tell me what you want to see in my shop, you should become a patron. It's only $2.
Hell freaking yes. Gnome, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
So, my name's Gnome. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, Mastodon, Hive. I don't know, everywhere. At Nomadic. I do things. I'm on vacation, so I don't have anything going on this week. Coming out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. No, in the morning on my Twitch channel.
Hell yes. And last but not least, KP, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hey everybody, I'm KP. I go by KP Living Studios on pretty much everywhere. And I'm pretty sure this actually is going to be my last stream of the year. Considering, in about a week we'll be in the new year. But I'm sure we'll be back again soon. You'll find me on hopefully next year's Thursday on the same channel. We'll be playing the Lord of the Rings game, our One Ring campaign. Come check that out. And then every other Wednesday, so not this Wednesday, but next week's Wednesday, probably I'll be on That One Fun's channel, continuing our running Feywilds campaign, which is our D&D Fey world, Fey run, Fey stuff. It's just wild. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely bonkers. So come check those out there. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty chill right now. But I have a couple exciting things I'm going to be trying out in 2023. So just follow me on Twitter and all the others. And that's it.
Yeah. Amazing. Everyone, go follow these wonderful faces on all the socials and all their upcoming projects. Go support all these wonderful creators. But for now, we're out of here. That's it from us. We'll see you next week for more of these shenanigans. We're going to do our after show. From all of us to you guys. Bye-bye.